I'm going to place in the more important ones. And if you want some of the evidence, the quotation, what, you just let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to move through the research itself. This is Out in the Valley, the dynamics of a newly developed queer community in the small city. Well, I am a sociology major from UBC in Abbotsford. I just finished recently, a few weeks ago, and I am concentrating in social research. What is the opportunity to do this research? I was taking a course called Sociology of Communities, and we have to speak as a community and research through the term and produce a paper. This is the opportunity. How did I come to? There are these questions. How is possible a queer community? And how is it possible in the middle of the Bible Belt, in the most conservative environment of the Bible Belt, full of churches, elders, and wasps, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, which is not an insult, it's a sociological denomination, right? This is the thing. I was inspired by one of my best friends who is bisexual. I am heterosexual and that's it, but I am allied and very supportive. So one of my best friends was struggling with coming out and found out this community and started frequenting them and gathering with them. So then I said, gee, this is very interesting and valuable. And this was before the course. Then the course came along and you do the math, right? Also, I had in the past other queer friends that I've seen struggling with social pressure, with acceptance from the family, rejection, and all these issues. And it always caused me not only pain, but concern and protection, instinct from me to them, right? So I saw the opportunity to learn more about this by researching Out in the Valley. Me also, I used my non-conforming features. Well, I am 40-something in university, I don't have children, I'm Peruvian, I am dark, I have an accent. So all these things that makes me not to fit in the typical or the stereotypical expectation, I use those to connect with them. So we end up talking about shoes, free men, of course, Sex and the City, bashing men, that was the connection, right? And I think it's very important that you put your heart when you research. You have to put part of yourself there, otherwise, how can you ask people to put themselves out, right? Well, this is the methodology. I use participant observations and field notes. My field notes were not jotted down in the moment because for me, the emphasis was to connect, develop rapport, and not being like, right? I wouldn't like to have somebody in my back with that. So I decided to participate, to gather with them, to mingle, and then I went back home and kind of like a bullet machine, writing everything I could remember, right? I attended 5 socials, we're going to talk about that, the Halloween Bash, and I was an active member in their Facebook page. Actually, I reviewed the whole post back to back since Out in the Valley started having its Facebook page. I also conducted 2 in-depth interviews, one to the director, the young guy who founded this community, started, and to my friend who is an active member there. I also review all the website and the press releases they had, which is the occasion how they all connect. We're going to see it in a minute. And I put all that information in vivo, which is the sociological qualitative information and data processor, and analyze it. But of course, for me, the most important thing was my connection with the people, my gathering with them. This is my main statement. What is required is a solid foundation for a community to become portable, imagined, and a safe learning environment, all at the same time, in the face of identity struggles, I should have underlined that, is for the Gemeinschaft and the Gesellschaft to intertwine in a way that is not possible to distinguish one from the other. And I think you guys recall that I'm building from tonics, Gemeinschaft and Gesellschaft, public space and private space of our communities. This is pretty much the scheme of how Out in the Valley came to happen. People is isolated, they are struggling with their identity and their place in a society which is heteronormative, meaning that what is not heterosexual is kind of, you guys, weird, queers, whatever, right? So they are struggling, and this impersonal calling came out through the media. Claire Fryer, the director, he released in a press in Chilliwack and in Vancouver that there was this email called Be Here in Chilliwack to support people coming out. So this impersonal calling made all the people to connect. They started emails, started bombarding pretty much. So Claire decided to set a Facebook page for a group that you can only attend when you're invited, or you request and you're accepted. It's private. So in the Facebook page, the portable and practical community of practice started to happen. It was a safe space to talk. And then, due to the exchange so intense, they felt the need to meet and gather face to face. And they started what they call socials, which is a weekly or bi-weekly meeting. It's generally a potluck or in a bowling or in a place that underage people can attend, generally. They start to mingle, they build a family of choice, share their feelings, share values, share support, and start supporting, helping each other to identify, to build their personal identity. Many children, many 14, 15 teenagers in Chilliwack are thrown out of house for being gay. They come out to their parents and they're thrown out, just like that. It's that conservative, the environment there. So the need of a family of choice, a support, a role model is very intense. And this is the key why the men's shop and the self-shop, the private and the public sphere, need to be mixed, because they don't have a role model to build identity. Our society is not only heteronormative, but it's heterocentric, right? There are female and male models, period. Queer models, there are not. You gotta get it from somewhere. So out in the valley, start in that safe space where you socialize, maybe even get a date, but mostly, because I've been there, it's a family of choice. It even provided to me, because I'm a foreigner, right? I'm here because I'm married a Canadian. So I needed myself a safe space too. And in a way, out in the valley, me being heterosexual provided it to me too. So I can see it happen like that. So then other events started to happen. The Pride, and I was for out in the valley and the Fraser Health Authority together put the first Pride event last summer. It was a big event. It was all over the news, even in the TV. Anyway, I'm building here from outdoors. Chaiko, Bender, and Virtual. Chaiko talks about the portable communities. How can the social mental space move with the people? Wender talks about the community of practices. The three elements out in the valley comply to those. And Virtual talk about the identification and the performance, community identity. How come when you are, there is a verbal language, it's similar to what Bordeaux speaks about the hats. It's similar. You go building the identity by exchanging the rapport, the wordings, and the corporal movements. And I remember the Halloween bash especially was a very important occasion with my friend Jim, which is my inspiration for this paper. He was hand-guided by one of our legendary drag queens and how to drag in. And I had also the honor to help him make his face. So it was really, and you see that is the learning, yeah? They build an identity in the gestures. And how do you learn? It's not a manual, right? So that is what this community provided. So, Out in the Valley also is a non-profit organization, has been incorporated, and provide counseling and resources for people coming out, but really not only coming out. Also, and this is the second big issue, it goes crossing social partners. Out in the Valley does not restrict its membership to an age or a gender or a specific sexual orientation. Anybody who is not heterosexual, even heterosexual, can join, and doesn't matter the age. That's why they try to do family-friendly events. Okay, and at the same time, this feature being so inclusive poses a risk, a challenge for the cohesion, because it happens that a group of lesbians just withdraw and come every now and then. They're kind of bouncing in and out because they conflict. jumping now. We talk about the community building methods. Now we're going to talk about the internal challenges. Something I found that I call the gay maleliness. The male gaze treat the lesbians as ladies, like very ladylike. So, and that's a fiction, a conflict. You can see it in the Facebook page, and even in the meetings. The pumping heads, and even some guys said, "Oh, it's because the lesbians are more male than us," and probably, right? But that's not the point. But this is not a critique or a joke. It's because the building identity in an outside the heteronormative scheme. How do you do that? Yeah, lesbian ladies at a point may turn more mainly than male gays, or not, right? There is not, again, there are no role models for that, or manuals or recipes, right? The other one is the queer sexism, that I call it like that. These are my coined words, which is the other side, the flip side of the maleness. Why? There was this power issue, and it's very noticeable. Male gays and lesbian conflicting for what are we going to do, where are we going to go, shall we have a rate for a fee membership or not? And also, after that, when the bisexual and the transgender come along, or the free-spirited, gays and lesbians kind of alive. And the others, you guys, you don't know who you are in a weird face, take a pick, choose a side. Well, a bisexual said, no, like my friend, right? No, I don't want to pick a side, it's not a face, this is me. So this is a queer sexism. It's internal problems due to the different sexual orientations. And this is probably the biggest challenge for cohesion. The second challenge is, well, demographics, age, money. Some kids cannot go to the bar, others, even if they can, they cannot afford it, or they are far away, the fathers throw out to the street, so they're kind of dropping out of school. A lot of personal, demographic, structural factors, right? But those are really the less. The queer sexism is the biggest one. Okay, now I have my conclusions. After this research that was a whole semester, meeting with them, interviewing, reading, and also I didn't only read those 3 authors. Actually, I read a good deal, but we're not going to talk about that boring part because of review, right? The identity, when it's personal or collective, is probably the strongest force that brings people together, crossing other social patterns. Well, I can say that not only after this research, but by my own experience being an immigrant in Canada, right? I mean, nobody's going to tell me what my Peruvian and Latin girls mean to me. And it's not even after stuff, right? So I think it's clear that the personal identity in the collective identity, they kind of feed each other. They have this intertwining game. Huh? We add to the pool of meaning, like some people call it, and at the same time we take and we build ourselves in that. Also, my second conclusion is that people blend because they need the collective, the group environment to consolidate their personal selves. And like we were saying, that it doesn't stop at teenage or 24, 25. We born and die building ourselves. Well, this is the main points of the research. I'd like to talk to you more, but if you send me your email, I'll send you the paper.
So thank you very much. We're going to have a question period at the end. So we're going to go through all 3 presentations and then have a question period. So next up is Sylvia.